Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM, great to welcome back the chair of the Kapiti Coast Chamber of Commerce, Jacinda Thorne. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you and good morning to all your listeners.
Lovely to talk to you, Jacinda. How are the spending trends going? When last we talked, there was quite a considerable upbeat feel around the local communities. The local businesses seem to be benefiting from more people working at home, more people spending locally. Has that continued?
Yes, well, that's definitely the feeling I'm getting when I'm out about in the community, and I believe that the spending is still up on what it was this time last year. And I think because we've seen so many people working at home again while we're in level 2, people are going out buying coffees and spending locally instead of spending in Wellington. So there is a little bit of a cushion for our businesses, and, we are in uncertain times, and I know we're probably going to be here for a while, but it's kind of a silver lining, I guess, in that cloud for all of our small and medium-sized businesses in Kapiti who are just working really hard to keep the doors open.
Well, that's wonderful. I just worry it's a little bit of a sugar rush because the big imponderable, well, it's not an imponderable. We know it's going to have consequences. The wage subsidies coming off shortly. Do you think that's going to be affecting local businesses?
I think it will in the short term, but what I'm looking to see is the announcements that various parties are going to make as we head into the election season proper around sort of medium to long-term support for businesses. And I know that there has been an extension to the small business loans that the Labor announced earlier this week. But we're just a little bit concerned that, extending loans to businesses doesn't necessarily fix some of the problems. So, for sure, immediately I think there will be an impact. Hospo is definitely impacted. The sector is, especially up, in Auckland. I feel for those operators up there. And this time round, we're hearing that there's less going out and less ordering takeaways than what there was sort of in that April rush. I think people are understanding that it's going to be, we're here for the long haul, not for the short haul.
We sure are.
I'm keen to see what the government, what the proposed, what policies are from the parties and how they will actually get down on the ground and help businesses out. Wellington NZ has got in the region of $3 million to $2.5 million in support to hand out between now and the end of October to small and medium-sized businesses who are struggling or need some help getting through COVID. And I really want to encourage every single business in Kapiti to make contact with Wellington NZ and see what they are eligible for, because it's everything from financial advice to strategic planning to marketing help. And, drawing on these resources now is going to be vital for the next 12 months.
And they are grants, they're not loans?
No, they're grants. So in some cases, I think it's up to sort of $5,000 in help, depending on where you need the help. And then they've also got their other program they run concurrently, which is growth. So if your business is experiencing growth, which a lot of people are, they can also provide additional support where they part fund ongoing coaching or advice or help. And this is sort of one of the levers the government has pulled to help small businesses out. So we've got the loans, we've got the subsidies, but this is like the proactive stuff I really want to see our business owners is digging into, because this is where the difference will be made.
And don't be proud, because it's there to be spent.
Yes, and look, myself as a business owner, I'm in contact with them, and I'm getting some help because, the world is changing so quickly, and anything I can do to future-proof my business is exactly what I need to be doing and looking after my staff. So, yes, don't be proud. It's there, it's on offer, and they have to spend it. This is the other thing. If they don't spend it, it's gone. So we need to equip every single business with this funding if we can.
You have to wonder how long this is going to go on, Jacinda, and how much we can carry on with sort of upending market economics in terms of privatising profit and socialising losses, because that, to a certain extent, is what's going on at the moment.
I agree. And it's a question I've been pondering a lot since we moved back into level 2, and what's that line between getting on with it and doing the best you can, and then also if we were to either head back into level 3 again and everything has to stop, how do you then make everything stop again? It's really hard, and it's hard to forecast.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are tired. I know I certainly am really tired, and it's been a long haul since March.
Yes.
I saw this happening in Asia in the late part of last year, and I thought, I wonder if that will ever make it here, because we've had SARS and things. But I think the impact of this is just so much greater and deeper than anyone could have ever predicted or expected.
Absolutely. It certainly is massive, and we're going to be feeling the effects of it for years and years and years. Now, you mentioned political parties several times so far. I believe there's an occasion coming up when you can directly quiz the candidates about what their policies will be in terms of supporting business.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to this, because we haven't had much of a chance to ask all of the candidates for their thoughts on issues facing Kapiti, because obviously the first round of campaigning was quickly put to a stop. So next Wednesday night at Southwoods, kicking off from 5:15, we've got our business debate for the general election coming up next month. And we've got candidates from Otaki and Mana who will both be there, which we're really excited about. And we're asking them a series of 5 questions. One is if they support electrification of rail between Waikanae and Otaki, and when would they start and complete it? Would they support the expressway between Otaki and Levin commencing before the planned date of 2025? Because that is crucial. What is their single most important idea for stimulating the economy in Kapiti? So what's kind of like the hero thing that they would pitch? Fourth question is, do they think Kapiti should retain its airport? And are they prepared to back government to support this? So if they got into government, what would they do? And then fifth question, which I think is really interesting, what are their personal views on the 2 referendum topics? Because I think it's important people understand what their candidates would vote for.
That's interesting. Well, they're all interesting questions, but interesting getting into those 2 referenda questions, which have been sort of voted on individually so far in the Parliament, not on a party political basis. But you're dead right, we're talking to people here. We're not talking to parties. So I think they're excellent questions.
When I worked in Parliament a long time ago, one of the things that would often come up are conscience issues, which are pretty much what these 2 are. And some MPs would vote from their own particular view, but others would take into account the stance of their electorate and what their electorate would like to see. And so it's really important on these issues around the euthanasia and legalising cannabis that they are open with what their thoughts are, because they will be representing us come, October 17th, I think it is, in Parliament. So, we need to know.
We do, no doubt about that. And that meeting is coming up next week, I believe.
Next Wednesday. So because of COVID restrictions, we're working to everything still being in level 2, so you need to register on the website if you do want to come along. We will have tracing codes, we will have social distancing, and we will have hand sanitizer on hand. So we're going to take every precaution to keep people safe, but we decided we needed to go ahead with this event because we need to connect our community with the candidates and hear from them about what they would do on these issues.
Right. Now, one of the issues that you mentioned, one of the questions you intend to pose concerns the airport, which is a local issue, but let's face it, it's also political as well. And good question whether the parties would support government re-involvement in the airport. Our listeners have had quite a lot of the background information over the last few weeks on this issue. And I believe that there has been yet another date set for the public meeting.
Yes, so because of COVID, I guess the ideal goal is we'd have as many people in that room supporting it. And we've had interest from the 2 news networks to come along and film the events. So our goal is to show the owners and the rest of New Zealand how much our community cares for and wants to retain the airport. So that's been pushed back to the 22nd of September. It's going to be held at St Paul's Church opposite the airport, and that's also going to begin around 5:15. And we're going to have a range of speakers there from people who are directly involved, so Air Chathams and the Era Club, I'm also going to have Mayor Guru, and I'll be there too. So we basically just want to bring everyone together because there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of, I think everyone's become experts in the last few weeks around the airport.
I've learnt a lot, I sure have. I thought I knew a lot actually, but I've learnt a lot in the last few weeks.
Yeah. No, it's every week there's a new piece of information and learning about it. So it's just really important that if you do care about the future of the airport and you want to have your say, that you come along. And we're going to be pushing all of the candidates next week around this as well.
Right.
Because realistically, I think we're either going to need central or local government to step in and do something if we want to keep it. So whatever we can do at that national level, that's super important.
Well, I have pressed Mayor Guru on this point, and I intend to press the candidates as time goes by. In fact, Guru said that, in his view, the local council would be part of consortium. Jacinda, there have been rumours of an investor having an interest in the airport. Have you heard anything about that?
Oh, I've heard lots of rumours. I don't know. I've heard of investors who could be interested, but nothing's ever really come to fruition.
Right. Okay. Watch this
space,
as they say.
Yeah.
And so the space, as it's turned out, is very important to many local people. So that meeting, Tuesday the 22nd of September, 5:15 at St Paul's Church. Jacinda Thorne, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you very much for your company here on Beach FM.
Thank you, John. See you soon.
106.3 Beach FM.